Welcome back to another Canon Quick Shot, where I do a quick review of a non-comic book and superhero movie. Today I'm looking at Get Out, the directorial debut from Jordan Peele of Key and Peele. So this movie is the horror/thriller story of a black man that is dating a white woman and going to meet her parents for the first time, and stuff gets weird. I'm going to start off with my recommendations. I think this might be a little more spoilery of a review than other ones. First off, I will say that maybe you could wait for a red box on this one. I think if you want to be a part of the discussion that it's generating, then I would go see it while it's in theaters, but I don't at all think it's necessary to see in theaters. It's just if you want to be a part of that discussion, you might want to go see it while it's relevant. Clearly I'm seeing it a little later than it came out. I would just, for me, I would wait to a red box. So that's just me. I just think the political / diversity / racial discussion that started from this it's there, but it's not as strong as some people would have you believe. So that is my recommendation as far as when you should go see it. Now, getting into the movie, I typically don't like horror movies or thrillers just because I seem to have been able to predict them for a while. Since I was in my teens, I was able to predict the movies, and also the jump scares and all those things, the scary parts don't really scare me. So never been a fan of them, and I don't like gore. So I was hesitant to go into this. I didn't really plan on going seeing it. I was pushed by my roommate and stuff. So finally went to go see it, and I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was well done in parts, but overall I don't think it was like amazing or anything. The concept is really what was strong. As far as the final product, I wouldn't say that was the strongest piece. The biggest thing with this movie is that it felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. I hesitated in going because I said I don't like horror movies. I don't like thrillers. I don't like the creepy, weird stuff. And a lot of people say, hey, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's definitely different than you think it is. And so I finally saw it, and I agree. It is so much different than what they pitch you in the trailer that I almost feel like that is what hurt the movie. Because when I watched the movie and I realized, wow, this is so far from being a horror movie that I feel like you could have took this a different way. Whether that was just kind of making this a straight drama and talking about the same concept, or if you really wanted to make it a horror movie. It just felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. There was so much comedy, and I like Jordan Peele. Of course, he's a comedic background, and so I respected the comedy, but I didn't think it would be so much in it. And it was like, to the point, it was like, does this need to even have the thriller focus? I felt like I was watching 3 different movies at times. And it did a great job of making you feel uncomfortable and creepy. I will give it that all day. But it just, like I said, didn't know what it wanted to be. It was trying to be a comedy. It was trying to be a drama. It was trying to be political. It was trying to be a thriller. And the resolution of it all just kind of came out of nowhere. It's just, I had little parts with it. But overall, I think it could have been a lot better. But it was very ambitious. And I love ambitious, creative things. I just thought the execution wasn't that great. Now, as far as being a little spoilery, a lot of, the setup of this marketing showed, kind of racial driven decisions by these white people. And at the end of the day, the white people pretty much envied the black people. It was a racial undertone of like, we're more superior. But at the end of the day, it was like they want to become black people. I mean, I know it was weird to look at, but if you push out the concept of what they were talking about, where eventually all these older people wanted to transfer themselves, everybody's going to be black. So it's just like, oh, well, all the white people want to be black. And so that was tough for me. It was just like, it's hard to say. There's the racial undertones, but there's not a racial big concept in this movie, because at the end of the day, these white people kind of envied black people. And we know there's the undertone of people liking black culture and trying to copy that and all that good stuff. But at the same time, it's like they were becoming black people. And I don't know. It was just weird to me. And it was creepy, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh, this has such a strong message. I thought it did a good job of having the uncomfortableness of being around white people when you're only a black person. And a lot of that stuff was good, but more of that stuff was funny. It was like, haha, yeah, that is what white people do. But it was never like, oh, I'm so creeped out by this thing. It was, I don't know, for me. And like I said, it was so predictable. For me, I just knew like everything. From the trailer, I knew half the movie. And then halfway into the movie, I knew everything that was going to happen. So, I don't know. For me, it was just too predictable. But like I said, it was still good in a lot of things that it did, as far as making you creepy or feeling creepy. I like the performances for the most part. Lil Rel stole the show. That's my man's. And even though the comedy I felt overtook the movie, Lil Rel was a star doing it. It had a lot of good things in it. Not the perfect movie, but yeah. So as far as a rating, I'm going to give it 81 out of 100. And like I said, just purely off the ambitious concept, put it over to a B movie. Otherwise, I maybe would have went with a C something. But I think an 81 is pretty good for what they delivered to us, especially for the first time of Jordan Peele writing and directing. So as far as his first movie, great job. It is thought-provoking, I'll give you that. But overall, just kind of underwhelmed with it. But a lot of people seen Get Out. Go to the comment sections if you saw it. Let me know what you thought about it. Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe. And if you heard it here, it's official canon.